I'm Agnese Butler. I work for Wells Fargo Private Bank. I'm an investment manager. I am a three-time Olympian. I went to Atlanta, Sydney, and Athens for Latvia.
Oh, your mom was a swimmer?
Yes, she swam for Soviet Union, and in one year, not an Olympic year, she actually won, but didn't get to go to Olympics because it wasn't the Olympic year. So, and she won 100-meter freestyle in 1:06, which at the time was a very good time. But I beat that time when I was 11.
Was she pleased about that, or was she
a
little irked?
No, she was pleased. One of the coaches actually picked me out from the group and said, I think we could make her better than what she is now. And my mom's like, sure, go ahead, try. And I was 11 at that time, and from there on, I just worked hard and, got my technique got better and better. And that was the big key, if you don't have good technique, you can't really swim well. Because I just loved winning. I just thought it was so cool to be first. It didn't matter what level of competition it was. But one time my godfather, he started talking about Olympics, and I was like, what is Olympics? And he's like, well, this is where all these athletes, these amazing athletes go. I'm like, oh, I want to go. And I was probably 12 because I had just started swimming pretty well. And he said, when you're about 16, there will be Olympics. You should think about it. That's too far out. I was like, don't worry about it. I'll just keep swimming, and didn't think about that far. Of course, at that age, 4 years is a long time. But I turned 15 and I made the cut.
How did you learn about the Olympics? I mean, were you able to watch past cycles on TV, or what was your exposure to this concept of the games and what a big international event that is?
So, I grew up in Soviet Union, so we had 3 channels, and it was very screen of what we could actually watch on TV. I don't remember watching Olympics at all, and never did they ever really talk about that on TV. It wasn't, something covered. When Soviet Union fell apart, we got more information about that kind of stuff. And in '92, which is a year after the Soviet Union was finally, separated and Latvia got its independence, we had our first Olympic team in Barcelona. So I followed that a little bit, but I still wasn't exactly sure what that was. I just thought it was a big swim meet, Exactly.
Now, what do you remember about Atlanta and finally getting to the 1996 Olympics?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, there was 2 of us. One was a 15-year-old swimmer, and then me as a 16-year-old swimmer at the time. We were the youngest ones on the team. We loved to party. We came basically to party. We were there the night the explosion happened. Wow. We were not supposed to, but we were there, and we didn't tell the coach that. It was amazing. I mean, being in the Olympics, coming from a country where there's barely anything. I mean, we didn't even have McDonald's yet. It was a big deal to come over where there's everything there. I mean, one of the biggest, coolest things was the fact that there was a 24-hour McDonald's in the village. We spent a lot of time there.
Now take us through your other Olympic cycles, and you said you got a little more focused in 2000 and 2004.
I put my head down, and I wanted to really do well in the next Olympics, because Atlanta, I had been way too young to understand what the scale of what it is actually, and what it means. So I did a lot more training, and I was a lot more prepared for the second round. However, when you get to Olympics and when you're actually competing, I think once you're standing by the starting blocks, the level of you're just nervous. You're just way more nervous than in any other swim meet. You don't want to think about what you're doing and what all this means, because it takes it into another notch of worries. You just don't want to be worried that much. You want to focus. You know what you got to do. You've trained for it. You should be fine, but it really does affect you when you look and see the Olympic rings everywhere, and you know where you're at. You're not just swimming in some home meet, Well, 2004, I didn't expect to make the Olympics. I had done a lot of training, but I was really focused on the NCAAs, because at the time I was swimming for Kenyon College, and we had just gone through our NCAAs, and I was kind of just taking it easy and it was 2004. It was already, halfway through 2004, so I still had time to make that cut, but I just didn't think I would because I just felt like I'm old already. I was 24 at the time, and so we went to the swim meet, and I was just, okay, well, I'll see how it goes. And I killed the time that they had, placed as a cut, and so there I was like, oh wait, maybe I should really focus on this. Maybe I should get back into it.
And how did you do in your last Olympics?
I did okay. I wish I had done better. You always want to do better. You always want to do the best you can do.
What is life after the Olympics? Do you feel like it drastically changed because you were an Olympian? Has being an Olympian ever given you an advantage in any other situation, like getting a job or?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, right after Olympics, I had a job interview lined up basically a week later in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I flew right after Olympics. I flew here for a job interview. So you kind of come down because you're like, oh man, I got to start my real life now. I got to get a job, maybe find a husband, So yeah, you kind of come down. But then once you are in an interview, and it's a big deal when they see that on your resume, and so a lot of the interviews tend to swing that way. Tell us more about that. Like, how much work did you put into that? Obviously you can work, and that has been amazing through the rest of my life. I've gotten every job that I've gotten. It has been, either a swimming connection or because they've seen what I had done already, and they have confidence that I can work. So, every Olympics they try to come up with an outfit that the team's going to wear for the actual opening ceremony. They also have outfits for us to wear around the village. They have outfits for the swim meet, for the, every part of the experience, they have different outfits for you. So one of the coolest outfits I thought was for Sydney Olympics, and this was our jacket for the opening ceremony. But imagine, this is shiny little jacket, and there's 30 of us, all shiny looking people. And of course that led to believe that we had just landed from Mars. and the rest of the teams really had fun making fun of us. Because it did look like aliens had just landed. It's all shiny, but I thought it was really cool, though. I mean, if you think about it, when else am I going to really wear a jacket that I wore in an Olympic stadium? And if I have to show this, it's obviously was for a special moment, and this was probably my most special Olympics that I had.